car just made it. He's about to get it backed up and get it out. So let's check it out. It's really neat to see these two original GT40 street cars together in one collection. Original GT40s, exceptionally rare cars. Street cars, even more rare. And the fact that my friend has two of them in one collection is really, really neat. There's a bunch of kind of neat details that we'll probably point out to you when we get it back in the garage that are side-by-side differences between the two cars. And I believe, off the top of my head, they're only like 20 cars apart in build. So there's a couple of kind of neat differences between the two cars. So this one has been getting raced. It actually won the Tour de France twice and came in second 4 times. So this car has been raced extensively in England. So the first thing you'll notice is the race style lightweight bodywork is a little bit more bulged out, a little bit bigger wheel openings, and it's a lighter fiberglass than what is used on the street car. And another really interesting difference between these two cars is it really shows off that the green car has the louvers over the vents in the hood. And this is the only car that had louvers over the vents in the hood. After they built this one, they just decided to heck with it and didn't put any more on. So I actually like it a little bit better without. I think it's kind of neat looking in the nostrils, so that's probably why they stopped making them. But it is really cool that this is the only one that has that. Another real interesting difference is the mirrors are completely different. I kind of have a feeling that they put larger mirrors on this one for racing along the lines at some point. So that's definitely a noticeable difference, and the location of them is completely different. Another really noticeable thing is if you look at the back of the car, the taillights are totally different between the two cars. Not quite sure if all the street cars had the double small taillights like this, or if that was just kind of a running change, but that's something I'm kind of interested in. I'm probably going to do a little research and find out. If you really kind of look at the details of this car, you can see it's got air filters on it, which is obviously makes a heck of a lot of sense for a car that's getting run on the street and getting run on racetrack. You don't want to have a bunch of trash getting in the air filters. But the street cars are technically supposed to just have the tray like the green car has over the top of the cars. So the green car also has a scoop on the roof. You'll notice the yellow car does not. Not 100% sure what the detail is on that, but it's super neat to have the two next to each other and go, which one of these things is not like the other? And cars like this, you know, race cars, the street cars were built just as homologation cars, so they were kind of just cranking them out. I'm sure there was a bunch of running changes, and being that this is kind of number 1 right here, and this one is further down the line, it makes it really, really neat to see what were they changing, you know, what were the differences, and there's so many little nuances, and they're hand-built cars, so there's going to be a lot of little changes, and I've just never really had the opportunity to put two side by side together before and kind of compare and contrast. So we thought it would be really cool to kind of share that with you guys on what are the differences. Are they all the same, or were they different? And I would honestly say they're definitely very different. The latches on the windows are different, you know, just so many little changes. And it's probably like when we're building cars in our shop, they're all hand built, and if you come up with something that you think is going to be a little better, you just incorporate it into the design, and the next car has something a little bit different. We're not trying to build every single car exactly the same. We're trying to build every car better than the last. So that kind of leads to them all being a little bit different, and they all have their own personality, which is really super neat when you can put them side by side.
That one also has a gurney bubble.
Yeah. Cole's a fellow tall guy, so he's pointing out the gurney bubble, which I'll have to tell you, after just driving both of these cars back to back, much more appreciation for the gurney bubble than I ever had before, because I straight don't fit in this car. In this car, I do. I can actually close the door and kind of sit like a normal human. So the gurney bubble is all right in my book. You could kind of see on this car, they must have had some kind of problem with a hood flutter or something. They added a couple extra Zeus fasteners up at the top that you don't see on this car. So I could kind of see with that high pressure area up there that maybe at high speed they're seeing a little bit of hood flutter, so they threw some extra fasteners on there to kind of hold that down. That would make perfect sense. It's kind of neat seeing this. You know, you got your emergency kill switch and fire system switch all FIA ready for racing in France. So super, super neat stuff. So super, super stoked to be able to see these two cars next to each other, compare them, contrast them. I actually got to drive both of them. That doesn't suck. It's really neat. This one's definitely a little more race oriented. This one's definitely more street oriented. If you guys want to see more, know more, or want us to do more, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.